I got a question for you. The question is, did Martin Luther King actually really have a dream?
I have a dream.
Did he have a dream?
That one day.
Did he go to a mountaintop in this dream?
And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain.
Or was it just nice talk? Did he see the promised land? I've seen the promised land.
And I've seen.
Did he see the promised land?
The promised land. I may not yet.
It's weird because, Moses, in the story of Moses, he never saw the promised land.
And I've seen.
Moses never saw the promised land.
Promised land.
He went up to the mountain. But the weird thing is that there's no historical evidence of Moses.
Every time I ride, it's for reason. Want to kill a nigga cause I'm coming back like Jesus. Bow down to my...
But there were pharaohs called Iamos, Ramos. All of these pharaohs with these names. I mean, the pharaoh, the Nesut Biti. So the question is, did Martin Luther King really go to the mountaintop? Did he see the promised land? Did this happen in his dream?
I have a dream.
Sneferu had a dream.
I have a dream.
Jehotimus IV had a dream.
I have a dream.
Dreams are very prevalent in ancient Kemet. In fact, on the tomb of Neferhotep,
I have a dream.
there is a poem that says, as for the span of earthly affairs, life is the manner of a dream.
I have a dream.
So, visions are like dreams.
I have a dream.
When my past life from ancient Kemet came, and the name TutemRa was echoing in my ear, TutemRa, TutemRa. Right before that happened, Martin Luther King was there in that vision. I was laying in a sarcophagus. Martin Luther King was at my right foot. Rosa Parks was at my left foot. My arms were crossed. Rosa Parks, I could see her up here. She leans in and kisses me in the cheek, on the cheek. When she kisses me, I raise up out the sarcophagus. I open my eyes and I'm back in my room, laying on my floor. And I hear the name TutemRa, TutemRa. And I know who I was in the past life. I didn't know what TutemRa meant yet. I called Basui, asked him what it meant. He said, in the image of Ra. Tut Unk Aten, in the living image of Aten. I knew immediately, upon waking, who I was. I didn't know what the name meant, though. And I realized I was given the same name. Martin Luther King was there, in a vision. The question is, did Martin Luther King really have this dream of a mountaintop, seeing the promised land? And if I can prove I've been here before, as Emmett Till, whose murder propelled Martin Luther King into prominence, if I can prove that, what if Martin Luther King came back? What if Malcolm X came back, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman? What if we all come back here? What if you are raising a child like that and you just don't even know who it is? What about you? Ever wonder who you were in a past life? That's the question. Because Jews believe in reincarnation. It's called gilgul. What if the greatest thing that they stole from you was your knowledge that you come back here and that you've been here before? What if reincarnation was the biggest secret?
Well, I believe in reincarnation. I believe in harmony.
Did you know that some people think that President Kennedy was the reincarnation of President Lincoln? Really? Some people have found enough evidence in these strange coincidences that connect their lives to make them ponder whether or not these two men are the same soul, different life.
This is yours, by the way.
Yes, this is mine.
What does each mean then? Look at that beautiful hand there, can you?
I don't care if I'm not beautiful, I just like to sing from the bottom of my heart. But anyway, this is my religion. I use them because I believe in reincarnation, You know, it's too complicated to explain to you. You have to go to
Spain.
No, not Spain, to Africa to understand.
What if the greatest trick, the greatest reset, the greatest eraser of information was to get you to forget the fact and truth about reincarnation, that you've been here before? You had Akhenaten, whose life parallels Moses. I got my theories about other people like Tupac, Rihanna, and other people. I got my other thoughts, but I can't confirm any of those people. But I know who I am. Why is that important? Because I'm telling you that we come back here. Emmett Till was murdered to bring forth civil rights. The name means to emit. What emits? Things like the sun emit light, right? Emit Till. Till is to cultivate. TutemRa, in the image of Ra. That voice was echoing in my ear, given to me on April 4th, 2020. I'm here to remind you that life is eternal. What if the greatest secret was reincarnation? And what you do here in this life affects you in your next life? What if you come back here with a different ethnicity and a different race? What if you're white and in your next life you come back black? What if you're Jewish and in your next life you come back Indian? What if you're Indian and in the next life you come back as a Catholic or a Buddhist? Would that affect how you treat people in this life? Knowing that you could come back as a different race, as a different religion? Would that propel you to be more about peace? Did Martin Luther King really have a dream? Or was it just a nice speech?
I just want to do God's will.
And if he saw the promised land,
And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain.
perhaps it's still there too.
And I've looked over.
The question is, how do we get there?
And I've seen
How do we get
the
there?
promised land. I may not get there with you.
Some say the best way to get there is together.
We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now.